Hello, everybody. Daniel Johnson from Venza here. Welcome to another reaction video. We got some friends in the industry in the hot seat, ready to give their raw reaction to some industry news. With me, as always, my buddy Sean Shields from the Atlanta office. Hey, Sean, good to have you, bud. All right, so I will let our friends in the industry to introduce themselves. Why don't we start with you, Marco?
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Marco Correia. I am the co-founder and partner of TOTEL, Hospitality Knowledge. We are a consulting firm based in Portugal, and we focus our areas in the hospitality industry, in the digital marketing and IT strategy and digital transformation. And that's all. Okay, glad to be here.
And that's plenty, brother. Good to have you, Marco. Ron, tell us about yourself.
I'm Ron Taylor. I'm based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I am a co-founder and partner with Hotel Profitability Advisors. We're a consulting firm made up of someone from an operations side, which is my partner, and myself from being the top line revenue producer, and we help hotels grow the top line while saving money on the bottom line. So that's what we do.
Everybody loves that. Fantastic. Well, good to have you guys. This is your maiden voyage on a reaction video, so everybody's sweating it out, wondering what kind of article you're going to see or what kind of industry news. So Sean's got one all lined up. Sean, you mind sharing your screen with the article? All right. So you guys could probably guess it's going to have something to do with the pandemic. And we've had a couple of these conversations on other reaction videos about tourists and who's coming in and who's able to travel and travel to where be healthy and where be safe. And this article is specifically about the Maldives and the idea that regardless of where you are maybe coming from, you will be welcome to come into the country. Or the multiple islands, the hundreds of resorts over multiple islands. So the subject being here, we're in this situation of travel bans and wondering where to go and where things would be safe. What's interesting about when you read into the article, they're talking about how challenging it is actually to get there. And how you would be able to actually access these places. My question to you guys is, some of these offerings, is this turning resort travel, is it becoming kind of out of reach? We've had exotic travel more democratized in the past years. People that could never imagine going far afield, long ways away. Do you think that we will see a situation where such exotic travel will really only be for a select few? Because the only people that could possibly get to the Maldives are people of incredible means currently. Do you see that might be a trend in the coming during the pandemic and after the pandemic, or will we see a return to that wide open, democratized travel industry? What do you think, Ron? Do you mind going first?
Sure, no problem. It's interesting. I see articles like this, and I'm very happy to see that people are trying to find different ways to get people to visit their different destinations. It's always been in the back of my mind, in our minds, as we're talking to customers, owners, asset managers, people that work at the hotels, is who's going to have the means, i.e. money, to do that. And I think that it's wonderful that we see this type of thing, and it's helping promote that there is ways to travel, there's safe ways to travel, and there's people and organizations that care. My point is, we've got to find, how are we going to find the people with the means, i.e. money, to do that travel? And if it is, like you said, a possibility that it stays with a certain level of folks that can afford to do that, I tend to question, do we have more resorts than that demand is, right? Because it's all about demand. So it is a concern for me. It's great, but I'm also one that looks and says, okay, well, how do we make it work? Great idea.
Yeah.
How can we make it work?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. You think of, one of the things that I've noticed when you go to shops or go to even shopping, things like that, you say, wow, there's no more crowds because of the control. There's no more crowds. Well, some of these establishments kind of need those crowds because the production mechanism is that is based on volume. So some of these resorts need that volume. Marco, what are your thoughts?
Oh, this is a long subject, but let's just start about the willing of people to travel, right? I start by without the means. Let's forget about the means first, okay? So people will travel based on confidence, right? So we are still in the phase of people will drive. We are in the drive distance. Hopefully they drive, and then we're going to move to short haul flights. Yeah. These destinations, these resorts, it's very depending when they are. If you're speaking to me, it's about how safe. I think how safe is the place. What's the status of the pandemic? Second, which support you have from your own country if things go really, really bad. Correct. And third, can you afford it, right? Because the affordable, I think the crowds are going to be needed.
Yeah.
The Maldives is not going to be back to be the paradise of only the rich and infamous, right?
Yeah.
Because they cannot afford that. The economy can no longer afford that. So it's a mix, and that's to do a lot with politics, right? Is how much willing are the politics to open up their countries, right?
Yeah.
Right. And this just to finalize, if you think about this, most of these resort destinations, they are not in the US, they are not in the European Union. You are like, if everything goes bad, will the Marines come to take me out of Laos, right?
Yeah.
Right. If I need to be repatriated, if I have to, this is something. For instance, in Portugal, our foreign affairs minister is warning about long haul travel, saying we don't guarantee that if you get sick, we will pick you. We don't guarantee. If you are within the European Union,
for the Portuguese traveling abroad.
Correct, for the Portuguese citizens, saying if you are within the European Union, great.
Yeah.
But if you are in Bali, might not happen. Sorry, but too far, too expensive.
Interesting. Wow.
Okay, that's my 2 cents there.
But kind of somewhat hidden at the beginning of your statement there is a plug for locations such as Portugal, with you had such an incredible positive response to COVID and control.
No. But we are paying now the flip side of the coin. So because we got a disaster coming up because the English didn't open an air corridor, UK didn't open an air corridor, Portugal didn't open with Spain, with Greece, and this is kind of it's a catch-22. Portugal has 10 million inhabitants. Okay, we have tested 1 point something million, so we have more than 10% of the population tested. Correct? Of course, the more you test, more cases you find. Unfortunately, that's
just
reality.
Of course.
He's like, so of course now what they do, they mix the numbers, statistics, the head on the bucket ice and your feet on the oven, and you are in the great place, or because we are being penalized because we tested so much that we have 10% testing. There's a few countries in the world that have reached that level.
But it seems like it's been a really incredible response. I mean, at least here in the Netherlands, they're talking about this.
No. As a citizen, I just have to praise because we have not 2,000 deaths in the country since March.
We digress. Interesting stuff, but it'll be interesting to see how some of these remote destinations can coax people to come back. Maybe the approach from the Maldives, while everybody else is banning American tourists, for example, they say, no, come on, bring it on. Maybe it'll work for them. Who knows? Anyway, thank you guys for jumping in. Feet first, I appreciate it being on the call. Before we wrap up, any words of wisdom, Sean Shields?
Yet again, you've done it, Daniel. I've thought of another business. I'm going to create extraction insurance. You pay for it before you go on vacation.
Yeah. You need a helicopter to come in.
And we're all, my company is all ex-military. We come in, we fly in, we get you, we pull you out of wherever you're at. And you just pay it, you just pay a price depending on, where you're at in the world.
How dramatic you want the escape.
Danny, you said about the helicopter. I think there's a few that people would co-lease to you right now at a pretty good deal. So, pilot, that's the thing, right?
Yeah, we need to find pilots. Well, appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everybody watching another reaction video from Venza. We will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.